Yo, so the opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and the Future Bachelor podcast only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity or anything like that. This fun podcast, though, may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor Podcast.
This just can't be summer love.
Yeah, welcome to Future Bachelor. My name is Cy.
I'm Veronica.
And this is episode 132. Yeah! I felt like I had to start off with that jam because I heard like this like really slowed down like lo-fi cover of it the other day, and it just reminded me of how much I love that song. We haven't played that song as an intro song yet, have we?
I feel like you would have known if we had because of the playlist. Because of the Future Bachelor podcast playlist.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I did add it, and it didn't seem like I already had it. So, welcome to the show, everyone. I want to shout out to all our people that might be watching on YouTube right now. Shout out to everyone that's hit that little subscribe button. Every view you give us, it's like just a little bit more, eyes on the prize. You know what I'm saying? But V, what's going on? Do you have any summer love that's fizzling out into the fall?
Any summer love? I don't think I really had like.
Oh man.
Yikes.
Yikes. I didn't know we were starting off with the yikes moment of the week, V. But I mean, you know how that goes, that summer love. It reminds me of, I'm a big fan of Grease.
Yeah, summer loving.
Yeah,
got me a blast.
So, that's like the love. You're going into wintertime. We've talked about cuffing seasons coming up on us. So, what are you looking towards? Are you looking more for that summer love, or that you more of a summer loving girl or a cuffing season girl?
It really depends on the mood. It depends on the vibe. I feel like it's so, especially because we didn't have I made the best out of what I could for our hot girl summer because it wasn't the same. I did still get plenty of good thirst traps. I'm not upset about that. I think I did a pretty good job for the hand I was dealt. And but it's just, it wasn't like a true summer to have summer flings. I feel like it wasn't the same. And now we're getting into the fall and all of that. I don't know. I'm just coasting.
I don't know. I feel like fall is a good time to fall in love.
The boys of fall, as they say, as that was a hit song. I guess.
I don't know. But what's been going on with you?
Well, we both went to Fetch together on Friday.
Yeah, so
fun. For our listeners who don't know Fetch, it's this pretty much like dog park bar here in Atlanta.
Let the dogs out!
Yeah, I've been waiting.
We haven't used that one in a while.
But yeah, it's a dog park, but with a bar. That's cool.
It was, I feel like it's the best COVID-friendly situation because it's open air. You're around doggies. Always a good time. That was fun. And then I watched a lot of football because,
we ate a lot of pizza that night.
Yeah, pizza. We got some deep dish pizza. And, deep dish isn't usually what you get after a night out. That's not like the go-to thing,
It showed up. I took some of it. I think I finished yours. It was so big, but that was a fun night. And then you ended up watching some football?
Yeah, we watched Mizzou get completely clobbered by Alabama. I'm just happy that football is back. Like, football, for me, I'm a fall football gal. I grew up watching football. I grew up doing football stuff for my college and everything like that. And it's upsetting to not be back and on the field. I get a little senti around this time of year, but I love it. And, my one group text with my college friends always pops off during Saturdays and Sundays during the fall, especially because we all have our teams and we all have some of our shared teams. So it's fun. And then you're going to laugh at me because I paid money again to watch one of my favorite comedians do a live stream show, Heather McMahon, because I love her. And it was a lot of fun. But
oh, my goodness. Well, no, I don't. I mean, if you enjoy it, I'm not going to hate on it, Veronica. Come on.
Oh, okay. That is, roll the tape. Like, we could go back like a couple of weeks ago and you were hating on it.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Well, this weekend I kind of just hung out, with some people. I ended up, shaving my head, so now I'm not really blonde anymore. So that's pretty cool. I'm back to black. Actually, it's got a little bit of blonde in there, so it looks like I kind of got gray hair. I got like a silver fox thing going on in my head. Little Flutie,
They call me the brown George.
The brown gray Clooney. So that happened today, actually, last night. Our friend Andy. What do we call him?
Andy?
Sandy.
Sandy.
My friend from high school, he actually was here for a job interview that hopefully went really well. And your boy might be moving here soon. He just got a test and everything. He's kind of roll. It's been good for Andy. So I brought him to the airport. We got to hang out last night and stuff and catch up. And I brought him to the airport this morning. So hopefully he'll be back soon. Well, I kind of wanted to talk about a new segment that we got on the show here. It's going to be called What We're Watching. And I just think it's important because, I already feel bad enough about the time spent watching things these days. I just feel like I want to be making more content than consuming it. So, but why not incorporate it into the show? And, we're always watching something we'll talk about on the show, but I kind of want to
consuming something,
Yeah. And maybe we could put you on to what we're watching, get to know us a little better. And you're like, wow, let's see what they're watching and if we recommend it to you. So Veronica, let's start with you. What have you been watching?
So
I like that already. I don't know why.
So last night I watched, The Perfection, which is a thriller that's on Netflix. It's a movie. It stars Allison Williams, who people know from Girls, and then Get Out, and then Lauren Browning, who was in Dear White People. And it is a mind fuck, to be honest. I'm still undecided on if I loved it. For me, when it comes to thrillers or scary movies like that, I'm always kind of more I can't unsee some of this stuff, and now it's just stuck in my brain. Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know yet if I loved it. But it definitely was a very well shot movie and touched. Would I recommend it? I think, if you're into that kind of mind fuckery, yeah, I recommend. And then I've been watching Real Housewives of New York. So, Real Housewives of New York is the OG Real Housewives franchise. I have been watching the newer episodes. They're just finishing up their they finished up their reunion for this past season, and it's just great. It's quality television, and I'm watching it from the beginning, from season 1 all the way through now. And I have to say, season 3, Scary Island, the 3 episodes that are that, is some of the best television I think I've ever watched. And I just feel like Bethany Frankel and just the entire cast does not get enough credit for the entertainment factor.
Wow. So, that's very interesting. I do love me some trash television sometimes too. I mean,
do a whole podcast on it.
Yeah, talking about all these trash things. But listen, this weekend I actually went on a date and it went really well. We watched. She introduced me to this movie, Think Like a Man, and it was pretty funny. It's like that Kevin Hart movie, and I don't know. It was just it reminded me of he's not that into you or whatever. He's just not that into you. So, I love those type of movies. Another movie that came to Netflix, it's from 2011 and it stars Hugh Jackman. It's called Real Steel. It's like these robots that fight. And I don't even know how they got Hugh Jackman and convinced him to like do this movie. But I mean, it's not like one I saw in 2011 or like cared about. But I think Netflix has this unique opportunity to take movies that might have not done well in theaters, but like especially right now, like put it out on Netflix and it just kind of does well because people will watch it. I think it's pretty interesting to see, and it's kind of like what the Versus effect does with with these artists putting them together and like putting their catalogs together and like getting streams the next day after they do a Versus. So I've been watching that. And then Andy came yesterday and he actually admitted to me, he was like, yo, dude, like a couple of years ago, you came to upstate New York to visit us and stuff one summer. And you tried to get us, you tried to introduce New Girl to us, like saying it was funny and it's really funny. You should watch it. And everyone like made fun of me. They're like, never. We would never watch that with you, Sai.
Oh, insane.
And fast forward 4 or 5 years, Andy's showing up here and he's like, hey, man, I've been watching New Girl. It's really, really funny.
It's so good. How could anyone not like New Girl?
Oh, my God. It's so good. And we love Cece. Dude, we watched this episode last night that had Cece, like a younger version of her. There's this like girl that like looks exactly like the girl, like the Indian girl, like Cece in the show and stuff. And like her mannerisms and everything. It was freaky. I had to like look it up. I'm like, is this like her little sister? But no, it's just this girl that looks like her and as that like studied her mannerisms. Like it's kind of
what a good actress. We love to see it.
Love to see it. So check out those things or don't, I recommend.
Or don't, yeah. Fuck what we say.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I recommend everything that I just said. I'll stand by it. But, now that we've talked about all that and we got to talk about what we were watching, why don't we get into some quick hits? What do we got for some quick hits, V?
Well, I wanted to celebrate us first because today is International Podcast Day.
Oh!
So, you guys,
take a bow. Yes. Congrats.
So when you guys listen to this, it'll be after the fact. But just know, I hope, you've been thinking about us. It's for your own International Podcast Day. Hope we're up there in your faves.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to all our listeners. That's for you guys.
That's for you.
Yeah. But yeah, for some quick hits, we got some more breakup news over COVID. Sad one. What's going on, V? So
Demi Lovato and Max Eric, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, are broken up. They were engaged for only 2 months. And so they broke up and it kind of seemed a little sketchy and shady. I actually followed this Instagram account. It's called Do Moi. And it kind of like has like all of these hints to like celeb news or celeb gossip that's on the come up. And there was a lot of stuff about Demi's now ex Max, about him kind of being shady and like dating her and getting engaged to her for like attention and like for clout. And so he's been kind of like, he was like going on this whole posting spree, being all like the chat, like at first like trying to beg to get her back, and then also then like posting like the chapter finally closed this morning, like focusing on me. And like he had been saying that he found out through the tabloids that they were getting like that they were breaking up. It was like he was being really messy about it. And like Demi like and her sources are like no, like that none of what he is saying is true, and also like this is embarrassing. And she just released a new song to kind of to be part of her emotional journey. I love Demi so much, and I just like want her to be okay. And I just am like, sis, like maybe you need some time just for yourself. I feel like keep getting wrapped up in these whirlwind romances, and it's a lot for me.
Yeah, I think I believe in that advice, and we can talk about more of that stuff later on in our main topic. But what else we got?
All right. This is just funny because I think we all remember the memes probably like from now, like, 5 or 6 years ago when Instagram got stories and then Facebook got stories and like everyone was like making jokes about everything getting stories, like, like the little stories aspect of the social media app. Well, LinkedIn just released their own stories version, like 5 years too late, to be honest, if they really wanted to be on trend. But people are making a lot of jokes, being all like, what am I supposed to post here? Like me crying over wanting a job? Like, what do I post to LinkedIn?
That's hilarious. Honestly, though, it just feels like a lot more reasons for people not to get jobs because they'll like snitch on themselves and do something like, some potential. It's a weird thing. Like that's meant to be like more like a resume, like job search thing. I don't think it's a. Did you hear that Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp now are going to be all in one messenger app?
Oh, I mean that makes sense. They're all owned by Facebook, so.
So like essentially, the same message will go from Instagram and Facebook and WhatsApp. I don't know if I like that.
I don't know if I like that either because I believe in the hierarchy of messenger apps. So like let's break that down a little bit. WhatsApp I've only ever used as more of an alternative to texting for people who are maybe out of the country or have like weird things like that. There's plenty of different reasons to use WhatsApp, especially people who like want to just like protect their data or protect different things, whatever. So I've used WhatsApp for that. I currently do not have WhatsApp on my phone for a variety of reasons. But that's that messaging. So I feel like that's on par with like text. Then there's Instagram messaging, which is like pretty up there these days because like you're up in your like I sometimes am communicating almost primarily on Instagram messages with a couple of people, just like with memes and with other stuff, like just because we kind of stay there. And then there's Facebook messaging, which I think is like the lowest tier of messaging. Like, it's just like if someone slides into your Facebook messages, the desperation is just oozing off of them. Like they might as well have poked you. You know what I mean? Like what's the point?
This breakdown is intense, but I kind of feel it because I honestly don't check my Facebook Messenger. Like it's like someone will message me and like 3 months later I'll like respond back to them being like I don't.
Exactly.
And also like where Facebook messed up with Messenger, it's like, yo, why'd you have to create a whole new app? Like, like I guess now it'll make sense if you're combining all three of your apps messaging, but like back in the day, like that's the biggest thing. People didn't want to download the Messenger app. Like why make us get out of the app to just like, it just seems stupid.
I know, because like even if you're in the Facebook app and you click the Messenger thing, it will pop you out to like either download the Messenger app or to like push you to that app. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's interesting. What else we got in some quick hits?
So, Tory Lanez just really dug his own grave, I think. Just dug it so deep. He like teased last week being like, I know I've been silent. I know like I haven't said anything, but like respectfully like save whatever night for he's like, but respectfully I got time today, 9 p.m. Pacific time. And so people are like, oh, like he's going to come out and say something about the whole Meg issue, like blah, blah, blah. They all, people are ready to tune into this live because they're like, he's going to finally like apologize. He's going to say whatever he needs to say. No. This man's promoted it that way to then come on and be all like, here's my album that's coming out, stream Daystar, blah, blah, blah. So the internet, rightfully so, went into a fit about this because they're like, this man is literally going to use a black woman's pain and injury allegedly by him to promote his album that's all about his innocence. Doesn't sit well with me. What are your thoughts?
There's always two sides to every story, people say, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, like this is one of the most annoying things in pop culture right now is this like Tory Lanez Megan Thee Stallion thing. Like I can't say anything more about like than just like either like someone should be arrested or just tell the story as is, because like Meg Thee Stallion actually did that. You know what I'm saying? Tory Lanez is using an album to like say all these dumb things. Like we're supposed to decipher from like your lyrics what happened.
Yeah.
Just tell us what happened. Like I don't think like it's not reading the room right now. Like, you know,
I agree.
It's just and what was the cover? What was the picture of on the cover? Was it
It's him, I think, as a kid.
Okay, I didn't know, but regardless, you know, it came off like the tails of the Breonna Taylor news and stuff.
Yes.
People, you know, are already relating to just violence against Black women, and also, you know, I also heard that he released it on that day because it was his mom's birthday, and like she died on the same day as her birthday, I think, or something like that. Yeah, so that was like the whole release. That's his explanation for it. But he was talking about Meg Thee Stallion. I just don't think it's like. It just sounds weird because like he's denying it. He's denying shooting her, and like pretty much being like, "Why are you saying all this to people when you know that's not the truth?" It's just a really dumb thing. It's like I just wish someone would get in trouble for it. And yeah, I don't know. Like what I don't know. Like what do you make of this? Like what do you do?
I mean, you know, I just feel like Tory Lanez
believe in him.
Huh?
He has people like believing him that like on his side, like Meg Thee Stallion is lying about something or you know.
Yeah, but I feel like the majority are not.
Sure, yeah.
But I mean, it's not a good, like, at minimum, it's just not a good look for him. Like, it's just like this is like yes, it was in the light of like update from the Breonna Taylor case. It was in the light of a lot of things. It was kind of like, like really like this is what you're gonna do during this time when like Black women especially are like really hurting. Like it just seemed a little like just like distasteful, to be honest. Like that's like at its like no matter what, like, you know, no matter what the truth is to everything that happened with him and Meg, it's just like in bad taste for him to go about promoting it that way, especially in light of recent events. So it's just kind of like, I don't know, like do better, Tory Lanez. Like I mean, good luck to you. I don't know how your career is going to go after this.
I mean, I would say, I honestly say his career was over.
Yeah.
But dude, I thought that would be the same for like people, and I don't want to compare things, but like people like Chris Brown, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, people come back, like, and people forget, like, you know, especially if he comes back with like a hot single that just is what it is, like, and he could, like, he's a great songwriter. People love his music, and I don't know, it's just one of those things that, like, especially if she's not doing anything about it, because at some point it's like, you know, what is happening then? Like, if he did shoot you, then like, what, are you just like take accountability for it then? Like, are you just not going to get him in trouble? Is that the thing?
I mean, she went on all of her lives and she explained like what she did and what she's saying and what she's trying to do. And I think like, my thing is like, what else is she going to say and do anymore? Like, I don't know. Like, I think that's also like, why are we, it's like always on, like everyone says like, you know, there's so many sayings that say like the most like discriminated against or like whatever person in the United States is like the Black woman. And it's so true. It's like she's expected to like carry all of this. And like that's like, even we can apply that to like things with Chris Brown and with other people. Like they get to like kind of keep living life and do their thing.
If I was famous, especially if I was famous, as a normal person, if one of my friends shot me or like a girl like just shot me or something like that, like I'm going to the cops. Like they're getting in trouble. Like it's like you shot me. Like you're a crazy person, you know? So like Meg Thee Stallion kind of looks like a crazy person for saying that someone shot her and not getting him arrested.
But the cops were there. She explained.
I heard the whole explanation. We talked about it on the show and stuff. She lied so he wouldn't get in trouble or she was scared also, like, she might get like hurt and whatever, but all understandable stuff. But like now this is post. It's like, you can still file charges. Like she's still protecting him, like, and it's obvious because there's no repercussions coming his way right now. Like it's been months of this, like, I'm just very confused by it. It's just a very confusing thing to me. Like, to me, it's like Meg Thee Stallion, like, there should be some type of repercussions for Tory Lanez if what she says. I
agree, but I also think it's not just on her, and I also think there's probably a lot more legal ease to it that we can't even know that might be happening in the background.
Yeah, that's why I say this whole thing is very frustrating because it's like it's a very public thing that happened with no like public knowledge of actually what happened. So, but anyway, speaking of, domestic violence and stuff, did you see that Salt Bay video?
Oh, yes. I saw it like in the memes and stuff, but I didn't really know like what all was happening.
Yeah. So apparently he has a restaurant that like, basic girls like and people go to thinking it's like a nice restaurant, but it's just really for Instagram. Like, he owns it and he's there and stuff.
Yeah. Whoop.
Yeah, they were at the restaurant and this girl is like twerking for Salt Bay. He's like filming it.
Yeah.
And then apparently whoever she was with like starts banging on the door, gets let in, and he's like, "What are you doing?" Like,
Yep.
Coming in hype and stuff. And I was just wondering like what do you think of that situation? And then actually Salt Bay's restaurant gets shut down for like a bunch of things for like code violations, like COVID code violations.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like twerking is, I don't know how to even like, I feel like I don't even know how to break that down.
Guy took you out on a date. Okay. And as like you're walking out, you walk out first. Maybe there's like songs playing in the background, and then like you're like just start twerking for Salt Bay, filming you. Like, I have no idea if this is a first date or this is like the guy's girlfriend.
Yeah, see, because that does matter. That does matter.
Yeah, and then you're standing outside and you see this happening. Her booty's jiggling for Salt Bay, and then you go to try to get let in, and the door's locked. So now you're just like, no! You're banging, like open fist banging on the door. And you get let in, and you're just so mad, you attack. Like, I don't know, the film like cuts off, so you don't really see what happens.
Yeah, you don't really
she ran. So, if you were in what part of this situation would you want to insert yourself in? The part where you're twerking, when your boy toy is walking outside. Why are you doing that for Salt Bay, V?
I mean, I feel like it really would be situational. Like, I don't know if I'd be just twerking. Salt Bay seems kind of scummy, so I don't think I would be twerking for Salt Bay in the first place. But obviously, like, if you're going to Salt Bay's restaurant, you're going because, like, of the clout of it being Salt Bay's restaurant. And so you already have, like, a kind of mindset. So then you're going to, and there was other people around too. That's like what I don't get. I'm like, who was she with? What was happening? Like, it seems like, I'm like, I need the full story. But like, I feel like whatever, like if I'm lit, I might be, I just dance if I'm lit anywhere. Like, I don't really, like that doesn't stop me. But I just feel like, I feel like there's a lot of missing context. And also, like, because everyone was, like, around, and then she was, like, twerking, and then this man's came, like, barreling through the door. So my thing is, like, why wasn't he still in there with me? Like, what is happening? / like, why?
He's going far, so you don't have to walk far. And while he's walking to get the car,
I feel like we're assuming a lot. I think
I know. I'm just, hypothetically. But why are you clapping cheeks when I'm going to pick up the parked car? It's already hard enough. I didn't valet. You're making me go walk the car. So
yeah, you didn't valet at Salt Bay's expensive ass restaurant where it's $40 for some fries. I think like there's a lot of issues already. Like I would not be at Salt Bay's restaurant. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean. I would like to think that, like, if the girl I was with started twerking for Salt Bay, I mean, I hope
that you would be the one filming it so that you could get the clout.
Shake it like a soul shaker. I think I would, hopefully. I don't know though. Like they're either the guy is just like has a past of being very violent or like, possessive and jealous of his girl, or the girl's done things in the past to make him like be that, insecure or whatever. One of those things could be happening. But I mean, it is like there's like context that you don't have there that it's hard to kind of. I don't know. Maybe he shouldn't just like be banging on doors and stuff. Like he should act like a grown up. But anyways, Salt Bae, man, driving the ladies crazy and their boyfriends too. So, what do we got? What do we got for some new music news?
So, Vin Diesel.
I know.
Yes, that Vin Diesel. Dropped a song.
Not only do I hear they're actually taking Fast and the Furious to space.
What?
Yeah. I'm like, what?
Like, see, after like Paul Walker died, I don't know if I can even like, I get a little sad. Like, that's how I'm at with my Fast and Furious love.
They're gonna go to Fast to the Future, and then they're gonna time travel. Another one, they're gonna go to like Fast 11 is going to be up in heaven where they actually meet up with Paul Walker again and stuff.
Stop it. Stop it.
The franchise is getting, I swear.
That's 11 in heaven.
Anyways, but yeah, I heard the Vin Diesel single. It's not as bad. It's just,
right?
It's only bad because it's Vin Diesel. That's,
Yeah, but it actually it's like kind of a bop. Like, it's like this much of a bop. It's a baby bop.
I saw it on this girl that I had gone on a date with. She posted it, and she's like, "What is happening?" And I was like, "That's actually like a perfect. What is happening is a perfect thing for 2020."
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I heard it. It's pretty good. Check it out. Do you know what it's called?
It's called. I forget what it's called. I literally
I do. Diesel teased a song on the Kelly Clarkson show. Where he talked about his longtime love of music and stuff. Actually, he partnered with Kygo.
Yes, I was saying that.
Oh wow! Okay, cool. So I didn't know it was Kygo. That's legit. Kygo's
that is legit. He's like a legit producer. Yeah.
Girls love Kygo.
I do love Kygo.
But essentially, yeah, check it out. It's on Spotify. But what else is going on in music news?
So, our, fave of the show, Timbaland, teased that him and Justin Timberlake are working together. And another famous Justin Bieber.
Whoa. Yeah, no, I saw the video of them in the studio.
And you sent it to me.
Yeah, Timberlake just showing up while JB is weirdly playing piano, like hunched over, like why is he doing that?
I don't know. He's got bad posture.
Called him, what did he call him? Jim Carrey or something, like in The Mask or something.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that music will be fire, man. It's kind of cool to start seeing like these artists trying new things, collaborating with new producers and stuff. Or like the older artists are now like collaborating with newer, songwriters and everything. And I think it's cool to see, especially as a songwriter.
Well, yeah, I feel like I've been waiting for like a Justin Timberlake and a Justin Bieber collab for a while. Yeah. Like, this is what I've wanted.
Yeah. The Justins have finally clipped. Do we have any more quick hits?
Yes, last one is that people are abuzz because Naya Rivera's younger sister, Nikayla, moved in with Naya Rivera's ex-husband and father of her child, Ryan Dorsey. And people are like, why did she need to move in? She said, it was to help raise their son, Josie, Naya's son and Ryan's son. And she's like, I'm doing this for my nephew, blah, blah, blah. Which I can believe. It does look a little weird. And they've like responded to people being all like, you know, like leave us alone. Like we're just like we're doing what's best for Josie and like all that. But like people do think like maybe it seems a little like I don't know if you've ever seen the movie. It's with Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively. What is it called? It's something a perfect something. It's like where
Anna Kendrick's like, or like Blake Lively's like crazy, right?
Yeah.
No, I honestly, dude, this is the type of stuff that it doesn't help. Like I've really read this and I'm struggling to like grasp how I feel about it, you know?
Right? That's kind of how I feel. I'm like, I get it, but also like, eh.
Yeah, as someone that's dealt with death, I understand, like, you know, you got to do what you got to do. But, like, it's the optics. Like, you know, you have to understand that this is exactly what, like, you guys are celebrities. And then it just has you questioning everything. Like, you know, how crazy it was that she just drowned. Like, you know.
Yeah.
No, it's just, I mean, back in the day when it first started, like her disappearance and stuff, you know, I was the one saying, like, this is kind of weird. Like, you know, and this doesn't help with those things. Like, when you see like these true crime stuff like on Netflix and everything, it's always this same type of story. It's like whenever like somebody moves in right away after someone's death, it's like that's always the first excuse. It's like, yeah, you know, we're just there for each other, like helping, whatever. It's like, no, there's definitely like something weird happening there. Like you don't just move into someone's house. Like that doesn't just happen. Like, yeah, okay, you're saying that this is the closest thing that the kid has to a mother now? Like, that's weird in itself. Like, you know, I don't know. It's weird. Like, it's just weird.
It really, and it is like, so the movie I was trying to remember is A Simple Favor, and it is very similar vibes to the plot of that movie. So if you've seen it, I mean, came out in 2018, so I don't really think I can spoil it, but like, you know, Anna Kendrick plays Blake Lively's best friend, and then Blake Lively goes missing / dead, and Anna Kendrick then moves in with her now, you know, widowed husband to help raise their son, who was friends with her son. It just like, so it's like very similar.
Dude, you don't think people watch these movies and get these ideas? Like, you know, saying like this has happened before. Like, you know, I don't put it past anybody. Like, it's almost like if those are already like things we see, imagine the things we don't know about this whole thing, you know?
That gave me some chills. Imagine the things we don't see.
Exactly. To me, I still think it's just weird that she just goes out on a boat by herself, like with the kid, like, you know? I don't know. Like, it's just crazy. Like,
yeah.
Why not like just get like a house like nearby or something, or an apartment or something, or, you know, having her move in, like, you know, that's gonna look really bad.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope, you know,
like, you know, two people like that shouldn't be living with each other like in that state. Like that's going to like make something happen. Like
that's like trauma bonding. That's truly trauma bonding. Like that's what that is. Like you'll trauma bond and then like you'll either create a relationship of romantic, sexual, or just like a very close relationship that's built around those trauma, like the trauma of like losing someone or whatever.
Even before Naya has even died.
I want to like, you know,
I want because it's like, you know, like these are legit like a family like going through, you know, a time like a terrible time, but it's like it's just I don't know what to say. Like it's just one of those things.
Yeah, it just seems a little iffy, and I feel like some things like in this past, like these quick hits, it's just like it seems a little iffy, just seems a little weird. Like I don't know, and I don't know if it's just because we're more on edge to see stuff that way or what. But I hope, you know, I want to like give them their like the benefit of the doubt that.
Okay. So what do you say, like, when we like, because it's always like only time will tell. That's like something we'll always say on this podcast. But like, what happens in like a year or two when they do come out as being in a relationship? What do we think then? Oh yeah, they must have just fell in love after the death of. No, that's not like that's how like most true crime stories are. A dude that's dating someone else's like sibling that's dead. It's bad.
It's a little shady. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
All right. Well, if that didn't make you go yikes, me, what yikes this week?
It's so interesting because the presidential debate became more of like a cultural moment than I think, debates have been in the past, just because I just think we have less things to do. So, of course, everyone's gathering around their television set. I personally did not want to watch it, but my roommate had it on. So I sat here and ate a taco and was watching it. But just in general, the entire debate was a yikes moment. It is not what a debate should be. It did not actually give any new information or help really to explain issues. And the biggest yikes moment is that when asked to denounce white supremacy, Donald Trump avoided it and then said, "Proud Boys, stand back and stand by," which is pretty much in the Proud Boys, which is a all-male far-right extremist group. They took to social media and took that as a calling to arms. So that's kind of scary to know that the president has that kind of power when he's saying stuff that he might not even fully know what he's saying, or if he does and it's fully like supporting white supremacy, that he is like has a whole community of extremists that are that think, that is their call. And so they took to social media, updated everything, pretty much was like, this is our call to action. And like, they're on 4chan and they're on all these things. So like now, like, the different social media networks are kind of like trying to get their shit together to figure out like, oh snap, like what if like shit gets kind of wild? Like, do we have to regulate some of this and whatnot? So yeah, that's a yikes for me.
Yeah. I mean, last night, like Andy was here. So we both also like there was like the series games. Is it the World Series right now going on?
It's the playoffs for baseball. Yeah.
So, that's going on. We're just grabbing a drink out on, at this bar patio. But I thought that the debates were on last night, and then I completely forgot. And then as we're leaving, like the owner of the bar had the earphones in, listening to it, and he's like, "It's crazy. Like it's a mess." And I watched kind of like a recap this morning of like how it went down. It is kind of crazy, like that it almost seemed like something they could like make money off of, like if they announce it on like Showtime or pay-per-view or something like that, Like
yeah, people were like, it seems like an SNL sketch. Like it doesn't seem real.
Yeah, and what did you think of the moderator, and like how do you even like do another one of these? Who do you even get to moderate? Like,
I don't know, because like it was just there's a lot of memes and stuff about like, like if this is how like see these men like talking over each other, talking over the moderator, like think about like how most women feel like in the workplace. And I was like, gang. But it's just like it was wild. And then like at the end, like Jake Tapper and stuff and like the other like CNN anchors were just like, that was a shit show. Like they literally like had no other words.
Dumpster fire and a car crash.
Yeah. Wild.
I don't know what to think. I mean, to me, it's just like, what are we supposed to do about any of this? Like what are we supposed to take away from that? Like
nothing. That's the disappointing part is like, that is, I mean, besides what I had just said, but about the white supremacy comments and things like that. But like that's the disappointing part is like that was not like a debate. Like there was nothing there to really learn from.
Yeah. When's the next one?
I think next week is the next one, and I don't know if the next one is just the vice presidential candidates or not. I think it might be, which that would be interesting. Pence and Kamala.
Is it a pet peeve that like it was annoying that everyone had they're filming their TVs of the debate? Do you
I
feel me?
mean, yeah, I don't.
I know you did it, so you're part
I
of it.
did it on my Snapchat. Yeah, I did because
It's just like I don't know. It's just a weird thing.
it
It's
is. But I just like. I mean, it was just like I was. It was really unreal to me to like see anchors literally say the shit that they said about what is supposed to be part of our democracy.
yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where like people are saying like oh, these people are dumb. This is the dumbest debate, but like then you're watching it, and then also the like people like the reporters and journalists have to be like, yeah, we're watching it too. Yikes. But I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see what the next one brings. I don't think it's going to be much different. Like Trump just cannot help himself. Like he has, and yeah, he just talks over people. It's just it's kind of annoying. And I don't think it's doing him any service, but it also I don't know if it's doing him a disservice. I don't know who looked better.
I don't know. I don't know.
It definitely wasn't the moderator. So all right. Well, why don't we get into our main topic? Main topic of the week is about OnlyFans. Nah, I'm just joking. It's about I have given it more thought, and I'll talk about it maybe in later episodes. But just joking.
You're really taking me for like a twist and turn. Like, what's going on?
Person. Relationship envy. Veronica, do you have it? Do you?
Do I?
Do you ever look at people's relationships and be like, "Oh, I wish I had that," or make you sad, depressed?
All right. Let's unpack that. So, I feel like I've had a lot of friends either they're getting married, or just got married or whatever. Like, I feel like we brought it up plenty of times that like we go through seasons where it's like our entire feed is full of like people getting engaged and getting married and whatever. And I feel like that's been happening a decent amount. And not that I don't know if I like fully envy that per se, but it is like sometimes like when I'm getting down about maybe not having a partner or something, I might feel like a little bit envious that it's come so much maybe easier to other people. Like I'll think about one of my best friends, like first time she goes on a dating app, she matches with this guy and they have like a great date. They start dating. Now she's about to get married to him. Like first try. Like that's insane. Like that's like that.
Do you think that's settling?
No. Oh, it's not settling.
I mean, don't think so. You don't think? I mean, if you took her to, if you didn't know her and stuff, like, do you just like pick one person and like the first time and just go with it? Because I think a lot of people do that.
I think it can be. I guess like it could be settling, but I know like in that situation it's not, and I don't think in every situation it is. I feel like a lot of people could settle after like way many more attempts and then like whatever. I feel like it also depends on like sometimes like when it comes to relationship envy for me, I don't want to envy like the checklist, I feel like for especially more women than men, some women are going and approaching dating with their checklist being like, well, I just need someone to fill the role of a husband, a soon to be a father, or like whatever, like, or a provider or whatever. And like, not really like thinking about like the relationship, but more of like, all right, who's going to sit in and fill this role? And like, I don't want to ever be envious of that because I don't think that's not what I want. But I do know that there are some people out there that do approach it that way. And then, they're also the ones who have like the very pretty Instagrams, the very like, oh, we have such a happy life, like blah, blah, blah. So it's easy to fall into the trap of being envious of them. But it's like, well, what are they actually getting out of it?
Because it's like a show. Like, I don't know. Sometimes like people just like the idea of their family, you know, or I don't know, like maybe that's just the way the world we live in now. It's just like that's the way you enjoy your family. It's like by, you know, the optics of how it looks to other people. But I think it's like it's really weird relationship envy. I mean, even outside of it, it could be like, what about like from friend to friend, you know? You see how some people are friends with one person, and you know, it's like, I don't know, it's like you're still friends, but you're like, I wish I had that like relationship of friends with.
Yeah.
You ever been in that situation?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I feel like I've been in that situation, like even with maybe within a larger group of friends where I felt like maybe like two or three of us, or I guess like three or four of us were like super close, but then like maybe like two of that group like tend to peel off more and hang out more together. And like I always thought, you know, like, oh, I thought I was that close to either one of them, or whatever. Like I feel like it usually applies to, yeah, my like larger friend groups. And I think it's natural, obviously, to be closer to some people than others, but I feel like it makes you feel bad when you think you're as close to those people as you are maybe with other people, or you feel like that you are that close, and then you see that maybe they're not hanging out with you as much, or that they maybe treat somebody else like a little bit differently, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess maybe we're not that close.
Right.
And I feel like that's usually when that kind of envy, because it's like you're kind of like, well, for me, I guess I'd be like, well, what am I doing different or wrong? Like, why don't they like me like as much, or like whatever? Like, why is our bond, like, why is it not the same?
Yeah, because you can't really force it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like you wouldn't settle for like that type of, you know, you can accept it as friends. But I try to put like lately, you know, because yeah, you can very easily, especially nowadays when we're stuck inside and all we do is look at our phones. You know, you could look at like celebrities and be like, oh, like, you know, and expect like this like picture perfect, you know, you put an expectation on just like what looks your significant other is supposed to have. And
Yeah.
you know, but you know, when I start feeling like that, I really start like trying to, it's like the grass is always greener on the other side thing, you know. How are those people looking at my life and being like and envying my life, you know, as my relationship with myself. You're like,
Yeah.
is there relationship envy like to people that are in a relationship with themselves, you know? So
I feel like there could be like,
you get to go out on a Friday or Saturday, or you know, you get to like do whatever you want at a drop of a dime, like, you know.
yeah, and I feel like there definitely is, like, maybe sometimes I feel like people who are booed up, who get envious of their single friends, I feel like that usually speaks to like a larger issue with their actual relationship, and maybe that does speak to like them only being into it for maybe those to fill that box or to whatever. Because I feel like if you're in a good relationship, you're usually not jealous of your single friends, because like you have that balance of being able to like kind of do your own thing when you can, and then, you know, having your partner and doing whatever. So, but I mean that it is a reality. Like there are plenty of people who like, you're like, oh, like blah, blah, blah. Like it's not that great, like being in, like, it's not that great having a boyfriend or having a girlfriend, but it's like, okay, why isn't it that great for you? Like what's going on? Like, you know,
Yeah.
or just even like with self relationships, I feel like sometimes you could be envious of people's self-confidence or just like self-love, which is always a journey, I think. But you know, maybe you might think, looking at a friend or looking at someone, or maybe like a pseudo celebrity or something, being all like, wow, like they like that's it's like I wish like I was at that point, or like they have so much confidence, and like I'm this age and shouldn't I have that much confidence in myself, or like whatever. And it's kind of like, I feel like that is like the same kind of thing of relationship envy, because it's like your relationship with yourself that you're envious of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just, it's like, it's just really easy. Like, I was talking about it last night. Like, we have a friend that he always, like, is in a relationship. So he's going to be the guy that people always try to set up.
Yeah.
On, like, oh, I got a single person because, like, you're a relationship guy. And we're talking about, like, you know, the girl he's with and stuff, and she's cute and like, perfect, actually, like, you know, checks all the boxes pretty much. But then, like, we, like, asked ourselves, like, but, like, what if, like, we had her? Like, would that be, like, enough? Like, would we stop wanting other women and stuff? We both were like, you know, it's just interesting, like, what is, like, enough for one person and, like, what is not enough for another, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, like, whatever it factor it may be, but it was interesting. It was interesting to talk about because it's also like we're living in a different time where, you know, we don't all live in the same small town anymore where, like, you're fighting for these, like, potential, like, suitors and, you know, you just have kids and you just grow old and your kids will, like, live in that town and, like, that type of thing. Like, we're living in the future where, like, I could at any point do whatever I want right now. And I have great relationships with, like, some women, you know, as far as needing a significant other at this moment, but I'm not in any rush to be in a marriage or do any of that. So that's why, like, the relationship envy sometimes, like, I'm able to take a step back and appreciate my own situation outside of a relationship. I think it's underestimated sometimes these days.
Well, yeah, because, like, I feel like I've never been the type of person who needs to be in a relationship either. Like, and I, similar to, like, you know, your friend, I feel like I know plenty of, like, serial monogamists or serial daters in my life or that I've come across. And I guess I'm not like that, but, like, I feel like sometimes, like, if I get into those, like, periods of time, whether it's, like, the, like, raw area post breakup or you're still healing from something, and then you, like, see all these people, like, you know, so happy and, like, together and, like, whatever, even if you do or don't know, like, maybe behind closed doors, like, what's going on, it definitely feels worse because you are, like, in a vulnerable state where you're like, I want that partner, I want that addition to my life in that sense. And it's kind of, that's, I feel like, usually when it's the hardest. But
I can ask you an honest question. Have you ever seen a couple so happy that you just, like, are waiting for their downfall, like, for them to break up?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You're an asshole.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but but I think that's real, and I don't think, like, I'm alone in thinking that. Like, I think there's plenty of people who are like, because there's just, like, I feel like I've seen, and it's usually not people, like, close to me. Like, I never would wish that upon, like, somebody who's, like, my friend or whatever. Like, if anything, like, if I really didn't think they were, like, good for each other or whatever, then I would just be like, get out of it. But I feel like I have had issues with friends who then, you know, they're the types that are all about the relationship and they're only, like, hanging out with their significant other, and then, like, you know, you barely ever see them or, like, hear from them or whatever. And, like, that's, I guess, like, I don't know if that's, like, true envy, if that's me, like, envying them, like, having, like, almost like a built-in, like, person to hang out with. But at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, like, do you really need to, like, I've never been that kind of girl to always be, like, the second I get, like, a significant other, for me to be like, all right, well, goodbye, friends. So, yeah, like,
I mean, there's something about, like, the relationship, like, envy that I don't really fall for because, like, you know, what is it, like, I honestly, if I got in a relationship, I don't want to use my relationship as an excuse of, like, losing touch with, like, things,
exactly.
Like, you know, like, my friends, like, you shouldn't be like, you know, you know how it is, like, you know, just because that's not the way I think I'll ever be. Like, or I don't think I like, maybe one day, like, I'll find someone that's all I care about, that I just, like, you know, but I just feel like that's, I don't know, you're setting yourself up for some type of, like, disappointment one day. Like, You know what? Like anything can happen in life, and then who are you gonna have when like all you did was like, you know, you're just so about your relationship, you don't have anybody else around. Like, you know, it's just like, I mean, you hope that people will still be around. You know, I'm sure people will be around and stuff, but it's like, I don't know. It's one of those things I don't envy about relationships.
I agree, and I also feel like that's why, like, I've never been, like, you would hope that a partner is adding to your life, not completing your life. Like, I don't think, like, I am a whole person. Like, and then there's somebody else who's another whole person. Like, we're not halves. Like, that's why I don't like the whole, like, better half thing. And we've talked about that before, I believe. And it's just, like, I don't want to, like, lose myself as a whole person to somebody else's life if I am partnered with them, because what is the point of that? You know, what happens to your life? To
wrap this up, I think envy is not a good thing. I don't know. Do you think envy can be a good thing?
Envy, isn't envy one of the 7 deadly sins? My Catholicism coming out.
Sins or something like that. But yeah, you shouldn't envy anything. Like, I mean, things will just happen at different like times in people's lives. Like it's just gonna happen for you when it does. So I think it's natural to feel envious of stuff, but then you have to like take a step back and be like, well, what am I envious of? Like, or what do I want? Or how can I work towards like the things I'm envious?
Yeah, how can I go? Yes, exactly.
So use it for good, not evil.
Amen.
So that's our main topic. What do we have for any Bachelor updates? Do we have any?
You know, they've done their little preview video of the contestants, the guys for Claire's season. They have a really kind of janky looking like full cast photo of them because it's not, you know, in the typical in the mansion or everything. They're all kind of spaced out. There's a weird white wall in the resort that they're at. So we're just counting down for that season. But also, Becca Kufrin, she, you know, did her subtle plug for who she's voting for, which is like kind of like a break from showing how she's fully broken from, you know, her ex Garrett, because she said, got me a hot steaming cup of Joe, capital J, and getting ready for this debate. And so everyone's like, like she's fully like, she's totally disconnected from him and like all of his stuff now. But it's kind of crazy because like Bachelor Nation is fully like starting to take sides in the election. And it's just crazy how
interesting thing, because like typically that was like a topic that they stayed away from, like that you never saw like people's political, because that's a huge part about dating someone is like their political stance, like, or how do they, you know, or what do they lean. But that was something that really never got discussed. And I forgot who was like the first people to start kind of like getting all that stuff into there. I think it had to start with like some of the racism stuff like that was happening. Show.
Yeah, because it was like after Becca's season and like after the final rose, and they had their like, well, like, you know, all this stuff about Garrett and like all these tweets and whatever, you do still like whatever, and like that's when she defended him, and now she obviously is not. So I feel like it started with like the bubbling ups of, honestly, I think it's all been within this era of, you know, the era of these contestants becoming influencers coincided with our most recent president, and I just feel like because of everything, it's all become more polarizing. So it just like kind of gives a different charge to the show.
It does, because like imagine if like now you have to worry about if your bachelor or bachelorette is like a Republican or Democrat. Like you could legit have like I don't know, like it's a weird thing to think about, like, you know, their stance, because you can have people just not watching the show because, I'm not going to watch that because they're Republican. What? When did this become like the Bachelor and Bachelorette are like presidents, like, you know, where we have to care about all this stuff? Yeah, that's interesting. Any other news out of Bachelor?
Not that I know of, no.
Well, why don't we get into our slapper of the week? Have you heard our slapper of the week yet, Veronica?
I don't know. Maybe
it just came out. There's an Instagrammer called Casey Fry or something like that. He does like funny videos and funny faces and dances. But they got him to do this in this video. It's called "The Business" by Tiësto, and it's one of those songs that like it just gets you ready for the weekend. It's a good beat. Definitely my vibe right now. Check out the video. It's like a monster, like a zombie coming back to life and stuff. So it's fun. So without further ado, why don't we get into our slapper of the week? It's called "The Business" by Tiësto. Let's go.
Slapper of the week. This song slaps.
Let's get down.
Yeah, slapper of the week. "The Business" by Tiësto. Let's get down to business. Yo,
that's like a perfect weekend song. I love it.
It's cool, and I think it's a slapper for Halloween too. So make sure you get.
Hey.
Do you have any shout outs this week?
Yes, I do. So I wanted to shout out for a couple of birthdays for my friend Veronica, and then for my brother Frank.
I think you have lipstick from you sipping that bottle right now.
Do I? I believe it.
We're almost to the end of the show. Guys, I would look like that too if I wore lipstick. Hey, listen, I honestly, yeah, just make the duck face the whole time. It like works.
Yeah, it's there. I mean, I'm wearing this lipstick, but. This
week I'd like to shout out my friend Andy for coming through town. He was supposed to surprise me because he wanted to show up with the job, but then I ended up calling him the night before he flew out here. So he was like, I'm going to be in Atlanta. So we ended up hanging out and stuff. So I hope he gets the job. So I'll have a new friend here in Atlanta. That'd be cool.
Yay. So, I would love for Andy to be back.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody. So, V, what do you got planned for this weekend? Anything fun?
I don't know. I think watching the Mizzou game.
Yeah. That sounds fun. Well, we've started to actually get our Halloween trip together. A few of us are going to be getting out of town. Not going too far though. 3 hours away to Savannah for Halloween.
It's not far.
So we got our house. I'm pretty stoked about it. It's going to be spooky.
I know. I got to figure out what I'm going to do for a costume.
Yeah, same. I don't know. We should do a themed one. Everyone should be like, I was saying S Club 7+2.
I was thinking of, thinking of Schitt's Creek because I think I'd be a great Mara. Yes, I just think I could definitely pull that off easily. So.
Yeah. Well.
I feel like, and then like TM could be like Alexis. Easy. This is great. I feel like there's a lot that could be done with this.
I'd be the dad.
Yeah, you could be the dad.
Or what's his name? What's the brother's name?
David.
David! Yeah.
You could be. You kind of probably have like a sweater and some stuff that he has. I'm sure you could.
I'd love to be David. He's the shit. All right, guys. Well, that was our show. Just make sure you're following us everywhere. Make sure you're telling a friend.
Guys.
You know. That's gonna be the first song on my album called You Know.
It should just be an interlude. It should be an interlude of like you being like, you guys,
and it's just like me going
with some beats in the back, and then like it just like fades out into whatever song's next.
If you guys had a podcast, you would just like hear things. You hear yourself talk week after week. You're just like, why can't I talk like a human being?
It's the worst. Sometimes I really cringe at myself because I say like too many times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who am I? I'm not a Valley girl.
It's whatever though. Like, I would love to see I would love to see anyone here record themselves for hours and hours and hours and not catch like them saying the same thing over and over again. But regardless, we love you guys. Thanks for tuning into us, talking, so guys, let's get out of here. I'm drowning here. We love you guys. Future Bachelor, My name is Sai.
I'm Veronica.
We'll see you next week. Deuces!
Bye!
Future Bachelor Podcast.